Jezus, of jaren, niet altijd, maar jaren heb ik al ervaar ik zeg, you don't understand, Jezus is al terug.
Oké.
Okay? De concept, laten we eventjes meer specific zijn, the concept of Jesus, he is already back. The working of. The Anunnaki are sort of like cousins. Okay? If we can release for a moment that we are actually all little cells in one huge body, then we will call the Anunnaki cousins. The Anunnaki are closer to us than are the Greys.
Okay.
Or the great tall whites. So if we're looking for similarities, it sort of is, the Greys are like different than us. You have monkeys vergeleken bij gorillas or orangutans. And the Anunnaki would be closer to us, and they would be orangutan or gorillas. And the Greys and stuff are further away, because then we have to look from beyond this universe. The Anunnaki are also beyond this universe, but they didn't manifest as Anunnakis as we know them, and we have been exposed to them until they were in this universe.
Okay.
So the name Anunnaki, they were already then a part of this universe. But the Greys and the tall whites and some more, they're not really manifesting as part of this universe.
Oké. Maar die Anunnaki, die zitten eigenlijk in die planeet Nibiru.
Ja, maar Nibiru is eigenlijk toch niet een planeet?
Nee. Het is een soort uitgeholde ruimteschip geworden of zoiets.
Yes.
Ja.
Ja. En de Pleiaden are not friends with the Anunnaki.
Ja, ze hebben toch oorlog gehad met elkaar?
Oh, I didn't know that. But that's also the knowing came. The Pleiaden are not friends with the Anunnaki anymore.
But that also has to do with free will? Are the Pleiades not a little bit less free will?
Yeah. See, anything that goes into the manifestation of this earth is exposed to free will.
Yeah.
That's law. Law by the creator of this universe. The Anunnaki manifested here on earth. So that free will creeped in, but not all of them honored free will. That's the problem. Just like Atlantis, they're supposed to be under the rule of free will.
Ja, dat ging verkeerd.
Yes, when power becomes the priority, and handling from a power position, then you're messing up free will. And it doesn't matter if you say, I'm going to do this because it's good for you. You're not supposed to do that.
Maar er was ook heel veel arrogantie. Gewoon arrogant van, ik heb het en jullie moeten maar luisteren.
Yeah, but arrogancy at that level isn't so bad. the arrogancy that becomes very dangerous for a civilization is if they are arrogant towards the creator
Yeah.
in breaking the law. You can be arrogant as long as it's at the same level. It's
Yeah.
not nice, maar je hebt nog ruimte. But if you have arrogance from here, moving up, then you have a problem
Yeah.
because it's the creator or creation's rule.
But how do people know what the creation rule is?
How do they know it?
Yes. Normal people, huh?
Oh, well, you want to know? Honestly, I don't know. I never thought about it. I thought everybody just knew. Don't they?
No, because some people try to find it in religion, huh? Other people try to find it in New Age.
Oh, but that's different. That is escaping responsibility of self.
But
That's also a symptom of not knowing self.
No,
That's why it's so important to raise that consciousness and awareness of consciousness, and then consciously exploring awareness and conscious. So it's like a circle, but not really. It's levels. You get through one level and then it becomes consciousness again. When you hit consciousness, you have to work on your awareness again in order to expand.
okay, but
So you have, okay, then the answer would be you have to know yourself, and then you know everything that you need to know.
okay, but then if you take Ron L. Hubert of Scientology, huh? Who also downloaded information, but also there the information is misused to some
Yeah.
extent.
Yes, because, okay, the human beings have this thing called ego. I have ego also. I'm very lucky when I work, that ego is not an issue. But as a person, I have an ego. But most people mix the work of the essence with what their humanity is. It becomes a status.
But do that,
It's a point of status. That this is what they'll do. I got this information, I know what's best. But it could be that I'm just different because my function is I'm to present the truth as I know it, but I have no say-so in what the people do with it. The only responsibility that I have to be careful with is not to overload someone.
yeah.
Because you don't want to make someone all confused, because then they don't have free will either,
no, okay,
right? If they're all confused. So my responsibility is that I softly, piece by piece, and that's why sometimes I have to skip through the layers, and it depends on who's in front of me, what I'm going to say. If there's no go with the other people or with the audience, then I need to hold back. Even if I want to tell them, if I told them, why are you taking the long way around to get to the grocery store? This path is shorter and safer. Once I say this is the safest path, if they choose to go through bad neighborhoods in the middle of the night, I can't grab them by the collar and say, no, you must take this.
Yeah.
I can only offer, but not everybody thinks that way.
no, okay, but most people don't know natural law, huh? Because
course.
nobody's teaching about it.
But Willem, everybody should know about natural law. Everybody's talking about going back to nature, going to natural rhythm. What not everybody is doing is thinking about what are they saying. They are not looking at themselves, inside themselves. Most people enjoy nature or parts of nature. Then they say we've got to go back to nature. But then the humanity of it all comes in, and then they only want parts of nature. It's because they don't want to see the sadness. They don't want to see Bambi ripped into pieces by wolves. You see? Unfortunately, on Earth, that's natural law.
Ja.
Yeah, okay, but also all religions, on one hand, you can say, try to teach about natural law.
Yeah,
Maar uit de verkeerde bron misschien.
but the people who are listening to the teachings through religion, what are they really wanting to hear? I could have 10 people ask me for a consult, and maybe the next 30 people I have to go through where somebody will come and really want to hear what I have to say. So there are a lot of people going to church, mosques, philosophies. But how many of those people are going there to learn the truth?
Ja.
No, but
Versus how many people are saying, if I accept this truth and just behave in a certain manner, I'll get to where I'm going, when behavior is only superficial.
yeah, okay, but
It's the development of the essence that makes the difference.
yeah, but a lot of people think that by going, for example, every Sunday to church, they do also things for themselves.
Could you explain what you're saying exactly?
Exactly. If somebody goes to church on a Sunday, it's not only to worship God, but also, because of that, work on themselves, how they look at the world. That's, I think, their intention. That's how I look at it.
I think there are some people who do that. I think most people do it because they were taught that it's a good thing to go to church. I think a lot of people, even more people do it because there's social pressure and escape. You know, when I was a child, we had not immigrated yet, and we used to go to church every Sunday. And so 8 years or younger, I already noticed, and I asked the question, how come in church everybody is nice and quiet? But on the way to church, people are commenting about what another person is wearing. What is that? And after they leave the church, they have another comment. Did you see so-and-so? And blah, 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 blah. Okay, what are you learning in church? That was a child less than 8 years old noticing that.
No.
So I am of the opinion that people go to church and their intention, many people, I'm not saying all, but many people, their intention is only skin deep. They've told themselves a story.
Yeah,
Okay? It's one thing to be able to repeat biblical words out of Quran from memory. It's another thing to feel the words. It's even another thing to experience the teachings.
Okay, but how do people then start on the path of consciousness and awareness?
How?
Yes?
Well, they could start taking 15 minutes a day and looking inside of themselves.
That I completely agree, but if nobody tells them that,
I tell them that.
yeah, okay.
You tell them that. Healer tells them that. It starts small, Willem.
Well,
And you just keep telling and telling and telling. And when those people understand what you're saying, they also will tell. But that's why we're doing this. That's why we're doing Patreon. We cannot make people hear us. But what we can do is the best that we can do and share
no,
for the sake of sharing.
but that
And you know what? We'll only reach a handful of people, and we've done our best. Someone else is trying to reach some more. And another person is reaching millions.
No, okay.
The
Okay.
point is, if they're not reached, they'll just have to go through another cycle. You can only do so much.
No, the reason I asked, because we discussed this prior to this, that it's better to help yourself first, to work on yourself, than try to do something for your neighbor, because the universe has much more benefit if people work on themselves than you don't work on yourself and try to work on others.
Exactly, but I'm going to change it a little bit. It used to be that you should work on yourself first and then someone else. Now I bring you the message, it's very late in the game and you need to do both.
Okay.
Because working on yourself, you learn, you see. But until you do something with it, you don't get points.
Yeah.
So it's interactive now. It's not one or the other. You do both.
Is that because evolution really got into high speed? Let's put it like that.
Yes.
And that is caused by humanity? Or by the consciousness of humanity?
It's universal.
It's a consequence.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the acceleration is a consequence. And I'm relatively sure that the consciousness of humanity is a great contributor to this annoying acceleration, let's put it that way. Yeah, it's mankind. See, people are now, it's a popular thing to say mankind is destroying itself. The problem is, when everything is in balance and there's a natural flow, and everything is following a more normal pace in evolution, you don't see it as destructive because there's direct recycling.
Mm-hmm.
You know, an animal dies, its body is used to nourish other animals, insects, plants, the earth. Their time now is coming because we have created unnatural things, that some things cannot be recycled. We've manifested and we've actually created things that do not fit in the cycle of life here on Earth.
How many
They're not compatible.
How many people are necessary for that manifestation?
Excuse me?
How many people are necessary to manifest something like it?
Oh, I wouldn't know people. It doesn't depend on the bodies. It depends on the capacity within the bodies.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay, one single person can manifest. It's in all of us. But, you know, one person can manifest a nice dinner party, and another person can manifest huge things like partnerships between different cultures. And all the support that that singular symbol of a person, it's hard to say. It depends on the capacity within the person or persons. And then, of course, there are stops, you know, Vilgaard. We can want to manifest as much as we want, but to a certain extent, if it causes too much damage to the planet, to the universe, and subsequent universes, there's another natural law that will stop that.
Yeah.
And that's what's happening here on Earth, because Earth is not a very healthy thing. So nature will want to make Earth healthy again, so that it doesn't make the rest of the universe sick.
Maar de mensen die al weg zijn van hier, want je hebt ook mensen die er van aarde ergens anders naartoe gaan.
Ja,
Die vervuilen toch ook eigenlijk de rest al? Nu?
well, that depends on which source of soul they held within themselves. Because, okay, then we have to talk about soul. Not everybody's soul or God spark or life force comes from the same or a singular source anymore.
Okay.
Okay, so it depends on. I met this person and they were like, had 3 different original sources. So that all has to get split out again, and then split out again. And the goal, as the human mind can envision it, is to then experience oneness. But a whole lot of stuff has to happen. You know, the story is, before you want to fix something outside of yourself, fix it in yourself. Then look at families. You have a family. Before you want world peace, just try to bring peace and harmony to a single family. Then you can sort of get the idea of what it will take to have oneness, because the original one is in harmony with itself. Creation is in harmony and in rhythm with itself. So a whole lot has to go. So even if Earth gets messed up and we move to a space station, or we don't, maybe we'll just go to a different dimension or a different layer. A whole lot has to happen before it is the ultimate one. Okay. Because we're not the only ones that make up the one. There's lots more.
Okay. Okay, this was an example of a discussion we normally will have. We really want you to join. Tonight was with us Gerard van Scheldorp, Inge Blij and Willem Peters. Thank you for your attention. I wish you a good day. Bye.